Welcome to Style Masterclass, the podcast that teaches women to look stylish and feel confident so that they can show up ready to conquer and slay no matter what size they are. I'm your host, Miss J. You ready?
Welcome back to the Style Masterclass podcast. This week's episode is going to be the beginning of an ongoing series that's going to take us as long as it takes. We are going to do a listener Q&A. What is your biggest style struggle? We are going to respond to each of them in turn. On Instagram, I created this post that got tons of comments. So if you're not following me yet on Instagram, I highly recommend you go to Judith Catan, find the post where I ask you, what is your biggest style struggle? And I want you to add yours to the mix, because I'm going to be going through every single style struggle that was posted, and we're going to do it as long as it takes us, because I'm here to actually help you. I know that sometimes podcasts become this thing where you get so heavily marketed to. And yeah, I'm going to tell you about some ways to work with me. I'm going to tell you about ways you can enter into my world and hang out with me in a community of amazing change makers. But my primary job here on this podcast is to actually serve you and help you and get you some information you need to get you going to make the changes that you want to see in your life. So this series is dedicated to all of my listeners who have been here since day one, episode one, who might be struggling with some stuff. This is also dedicated to all my new listeners who maybe have caught me at various times where teaching was less at the forefront and I was interviewing more. For the next few podcast episodes with regard to style, I'm going to be teaching, and I'm going to get back to the basics in answering your questions about your biggest style struggles. So I'm not going to be labored anymore. Let's get to the first question. I get overwhelmed from too much stuff, too much selection in the stores. Specifically, this person said overwhelm in stores from too much choices. And I want to talk about where the overwhelm come from, what your thought process is, and how we can work through that a little bit. So I think the first thing to talk about is the fact that you might feel overwhelmed from too many choices because you're going in without a plan. You're going in without a specific list of things that you're looking for. You're just sort of floating on a breeze, seeing where the store will take you, which means you're at the mercy of the store. And it takes so much of the empowerment, the authority, and agency you have in a buying scenario, in a shopping scenario, by going in without a plan. And it can be super overwhelming if you're kind of like, well, I know I need something. I hate shopping. I'm just going to do this last minute to get it over with just to see what I will see. But I have to walk away with something to have made this worthwhile. And then overwhelm hits. Our brains actually love when we give them direction. When we tell them, hey, can you answer this specific question for me? Can you help me solve this very particular problem? Our brains love that. They love when we give them direction. Very few of us like to be set in front of a table of 1,000 options. Most of us don't even like to pick where we're going for dinner or for lunch. Do you know any clients I know who the biggest fight in their coupling with their significant other is what they're going to eat for dinner? We get decision fatigue, we get frustrated, we get overwhelmed, and then pessimism really kicks in. That's like nothing's ever going to work because we've presented ourselves with too many choices. And the best way to overcome that decision fatigue, that overwhelm, and then the pessimism, and then I don't want to do this again, cycle, is to go in with a plan. Try on your clothes before you ever set foot in a store. Shop your closet. Find out what you actually need. Find out what's missing. What are the gaps in your wardrobe? And then only go armed to shop online or in person to fill in the gaps in your wardrobe. If there's things that are janky that need replacing, that's a gap we're going to fill in. If there's something that, you've loved and it's just been so well loved and you would like to find more of it, that's the gap we're going to fill in. If you've changed sizes up or down, and you need new trousers, you need new undies, you need new bras, that's the gap we're going to fill in. Now, you might have this penchant because you were maybe raised in the 90s like I was, with all these fashion movie montages where we do whole makeover overhauls and we buy a bunch of stuff at once. The reality is most of us don't like shopping that way. Give your brain a task. Try on your clothes before you go, figure out what the gaps in your wardrobe are, and only shop for those gaps. Now, if there are a lot of gaps, and sometimes this happens to my clients, their weight changes significantly, menopause kicks in, and they need more clothes than they thought. I don't want you to be dismayed by that if that happens. Your first time out, pick one category of item that you're going to focus on. You can build a wardrobe you love one item at a time. We just got to give your brain a direction. Go with a list. Number 2, oftentimes it's a mindset issue. Not only practically are we not armed with a list, we're creating a scenario where we're at the whim of the store and the whim of a salesperson, the whim of a sale, if it happens to be going on or not. It's oftentimes why I recommend clients don't shop on sale or when things are only on sale, because it creates a scenario where we're at the mercy of whatever is available. So here's what I recommend. The mindset I would love for you all to practice is that you are the leading lady. You are the starring cast member in a movie of your life, and all of the clothing is auditioning for you. Some of the items are not going to make the cut. Some of them will. Now, you've probably heard me say this before if you are a longtime listener of the podcast, but it bears repeating. Because oftentimes the overwhelm comes in because you feel like you have to suddenly adopt the trends that are on the mannequins. You suddenly have to enjoy a shade of pink that you've never enjoyed. You suddenly are at the mercy of whatever shade of blue happens to be on offer. But if we go in with this leading lady diva mindset, that shade of blue just might not do. That new cut of skirt may just not be how you roll. The jeans that are flared are not your jam, right? You're such a discerning, divalicious, amazing, empowered woman, empowered person when you go shopping with this mindset. So some of you are overwhelmed because you're forgetting who you are and how powerful you really are in those shopping scenarios. You go in without a list and you sort of float in and you want to see what happens to you as opposed to making things happen. Third and last, you might bring the wrong shopping buddy. And I see this a lot. You have your well-meaning mom, your well-meaning auntie, your well-meaning friend, your well-meaning coworker, fill in the blank person who loves you, who really just wants to help you. And they heard you were going shopping. They were delighted to come with you. You may have even invited them because you feel really insecure about making choices on your own. So you bring this person who may not be the best person if you get overwhelmed easily while shopping. Their energy might be higher than you need. They may be really pushy with their opinion. You may be like, hey, I don't want that. And they're like, but it looks great on you. You're getting it. And they're very forceful. And you become almost like a kid shopping with their parent versus, hey, I need you to support me emotionally as I go through this process because I get overwhelmed while shopping. So you might have the wrong shopping buddy, love, and that might not be helping the overwhelm situation. So I would just say choose your shopping buddy carefully. It's okay to fly solo. Download as many episodes of this podcast as you'd like. Take me shopping with you. I will be in the background cheering you on. You can play this as many times as you need. Go in with an amazing playlist, maybe something that's soothing and not very energizing that you could just keep your AirPods in. Be in your own little world as you walk around as a leading lady armed with your list to go shopping. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, to have a less overwhelming, too many choices shopping experience is 1, go with a list. 2, remember you are the leading lady. All the clothing is auditioning for you, my friend. And 3, choose your shopping buddies wisely. Fly solo if you need to. Go armed with an amazing playlist that's going to help you stay in control, empowered while you shop. I'm delighted to continue to bring this series to you. Stay tuned for the next one in this ongoing series. Listener style struggles are answered. All right, Miss J out.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. To learn more about how to work with me, go to judithgaton.com. Click on the Start Here button to get access to my free personal style class. I give you a quick style win, a confidence boost, and you walk away with the tools to start getting stylish. Who doesn't love that? See you there. Miss J out.